To those of you who've been following us here on The Correspondence, you may remember the young man we're about to feature. His name is Mikah Meyer, and he's on a mission to visit all 417 national parks here in the United States. Well, he celebrated a big milestone this week, marking 1 full year since he began his quest, which means he's now a third of the way through what he expects will be a 3-year journey. And what a journey it's been. VOA's Julie Taboh has been following Micah's exploits from the very start. Here's part of her year-long series on what's been a most impressive road trip. Take a look.
Heading north from the ethereal world of the caves, Mikah found himself in another surreal place, driving on a road covered with something that looked like snow.
So after growing up in Nebraska, this is what it looks like after a really heavy snow, when it snows so hard that it covers the lanes of the road.
Except he wasn't in Nebraska.
I'm in the middle of a desert.
And what he was driving on wasn't snow.
This is white sand.
It's white gypsum sand, covering 712 square kilometers of desert at White Sands National Monument in southern New Mexico, which forms the largest gypsum dune field in the world.
The reason this white sand exists is partially because there used to be a lake there. This ancient lake, essentially, as it dried up, left behind this sand, and because the sand is in between two mountain ranges, that's what's helped allow it to stay there.
Micah had fun exploring those dunes.
Oh gosh, so much sand.
Even swapping his jacket and sneakers for a snow saucer.
White Sands was a really big place for me because it was my 139th park site, which marked exactly 1/3 of the way through this journey.
Well, that was fun. Now, as spectacular as those white sands of New Mexico look, there's still a lot more ahead for Mikah Meyer. Now, to talk to us about this remarkable young man and his journey, we're joined by VOA's Julie Taboh, who has made it her mission to share Micah's journey with the world. Now, that was fun. I'm going to have to put the white sands of New Mexico in my bucket list, but that is just a small part of where Mikah has been. Tell us about everything that sort of led to this point. He's seen a lot of places, hasn't he?
It's been amazing, and I'm amazed that Micah has completely nailed it in terms of 1 year in, and he is 1/3 of the way through.
Right.
So he started off, and he went during the summer months to the north, and during the colder months to the south. And White Sands is a perfect example of a place where, when we think of national parks, we think of, Yosemite and Yellowstone, trees, lush areas, greenery. And what Micah's proved over and over again with these stories is that it isn't just about parks. We have 59 amazing parks, but in between, everything from the depths of the oceans in the American Caribbean to high peaks in Texas with the Chisos and the Guadalupe Mountains.
I mean.
They're all picture perfect, yes. They're all picture postcard perfect places that he's been to. But it really has sort of run the gamut from presidential homes to Native American sacred sites to battlefields and just everything in between.
But Julia, a journey like this requires commitment. He still have 2 years to go to actually accomplish his goal. The question is, why do it?
Well, for Micah, this was a very personal journey. What motivated him was mainly because his father, who he lost when he was only 19 years old, was a huge lover of the outdoors, and the two of them used to go on many adventures together.
And there's a was looking at a picture of his father.
Yes, and his father instilled in him this, love of travel and adventure. And so he started off on Father's Day last year as a tribute to his dad, and wanted to be able to do this at age 30, so that he, if he, God forbid, was cut short in life, had at least put that on his bucket list. It was also last year the centennial of the National Park Service, and so there was his tribute to the national parks too, to raise awareness among the LGBT community, among millennials, just for everyone, to see, look, this is our, literally our backyard, and we have so many wonderful treasures.
This is his way of getting that message across. But it's not been an easy road, I can imagine. I mean, anything can happen. on a long journey such as this, right? Anything from car breakdowns to whatever, you know.
We all take little trips in our cars and vans across maybe sometimes a country or to another state, and we know the challenges with, you know, cars breaking down and things like that. So if you can imagine, you know, Micah's on, you know, driving and living out of this big white cargo van, which is this home away from home. So just within that is the challenges of being on the road, right? And the many things that he might encounter with roadblocks and, you know, falling trees and things like that. But as an example, everything within this van is self-contained. So he has a solar power system that keeps everything going. The refrigerator, the air conditioning, broke down in the middle of the desert in Texas. And he said if it hadn't been for his Facebook followers, where he put out this alert saying, I've broken down in the middle of the desert with this.
I was going to ask you about that because, I mean, this can't be cheap. Launching a road trip like this, how is he paying for this?
Well, initially he worked 2 jobs, sometimes 3 jobs for over a period of years to save up for this. But yes, I mean, he is, you know, working very hard to sometimes sing in churches on Sundays. They pass the collection plate or have a little donation box where people will literally, he sings for his supper. So he's a professional singer and he will sing to raise funds.
I hear he's a really good singer too.
He's an amazing singer, and he is part of a professional choir.
Of course, people can watch a little bit of how he sings on your stories on our VOA News webpage.
Absolutely.
But I've got to ask you about you, Julie. I mean, you're very dedicated to this story. You've been covering this for more than a year. Why are you so fascinated by this young man's exploits?
Well, we started off wanting to do some stories about the National Park Service because of their 100th anniversary, which was a milestone. And then we heard about Micah and this amazing, epic journey that will shatter world records in terms of being the youngest if he does fulfill it. And so when we heard that he was doing this, we said we have to collaborate with him. So VOA has been with him every step of the way as a collaboration during this 1/3 of the way and hopefully all the way through.
So how can people, our audience, keep up with Mikah Meyer?
Well, he has a website where he has, you know, Travel Beyond Convention. So it's tbcmicah.com, where visitors and you know, people going to his website can, you know, learn about his blogs, his photos, his videos that he's posting.
He's also on Facebook?
He's on Facebook and Instagram. So on all social media, he has a presence. And of course, our own VOA website, we have a page dedicated to him. And anytime you Google Mikah Meyer and the VOA News website, also all our stories will come up. We've done about 50 altogether on the National Park Service, and the vast majority of those have been Micah based.
And Micah has been super helpful as well. I mean, I met him last year, and he sent emails of thanks, and he's been like, you know what I really like about Mikah Meyer is his enthusiasm and his intelligence.
He has such a passion, and I think it's, you know, again, multi-purposed passion that he has for the parks, for this tribute to his dad, for just getting the message out to his fellow peers about this amazing country that we have and all the amazing places that we have. And it really has been, he's disciplined. The fact that he's gone 1/3 of the way through and he's already a year in shows his discipline. He's very fit to go up these mountains. He makes it look effortless, but if you and I were to try, we'd be panting.
I'm actually jealous of all the places he's been. But we're out of time. Thank you so much, Julie Taboh. And Micah, you're probably not going to see this episode until you actually find a good Wi-Fi spot. But great stuff. You should know that we here at VOA are very proud of what you're doing and what you're trying to accomplish. But that's all the time we have. But please join us again next week. Now, in the meantime, be sure to check us out on voanews.com. We're also on Facebook and YouTube. I'm Mil Arcega, wishing you all happy travels this summer. Thanks for watching. And we'll leave you now with a special message from Mikah Meyer to all of you watching. For now, so long from Washington.
Hi, Voice of America. It's Mikah Meyer on Hurricane Ridge in Olympic National Park. 2 years ago, I stood in this exact same place and filmed the promo video for what would become my 3-year world record road trip to all 417 U.S. national parks. You've been along on this journey now with me for the past year, and we've gone to 188 sites together. I look forward to the next 2 years to reaching 417 parks with you, and hope that you one day will have a chance to come to America and experience the majesty and splendor of these United States.